Hey, my name is Jason Nicholson and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I've got some good news. Mortgage approvals are up. Now, in this video, we're going to look at what impact that will have on the property market. Is it just a small little increase or is it substantial? I'll talk about that as well. I've also got some data on how much house viewings have increased on a month-on-month basis. That looks positive as well. So while I get a bad rep for recently having a bit of a run on bad news videos, I think this gives some positivity. And also this data is really important to understand what is likely to happen in the market. You see, I like to look at all the different property data sources. We'll soon have some more updates on the Rightmove asking prices. We had the Nationwide with their data the other day saying house prices are down according to them. We have the ONS, which is the Office of National Statistics. All of this stuff is important to consider on where we think the market will go. No one has a crystal ball and can say for certain, but being informed and knowing what's going on in a market can help you make the right decisions if you're looking to buy or you just want to keep your finger on the pulse. So before we jump into this, as always, if you haven't done already, do make sure you subscribe to the channel over there and hit that bell notification. We're on the way to 44,000 subscribers. And by subscribing, you'll get all the latest property news. We're talking renters' rights bill. We're talking leasehold reform, house prices, interest rates, and much, much more. And let's get some views on this video. How do we do that? Simple. Smash like, tick or like, do something to the like button. That really helps us with the YouTube algorithm, and that really helps the channel grow. So thank you to everybody that does that. So, lending is back, and that's good. And this has been driven by the fact that over the last few months, mortgage rates did start to drop, and we got below 4% with quite a few lenders. In fact, nearly all of the big lenders had a rate that was a headline rate under 4%, which is really, really positive. And so because of that, we have the option that we now can get easier access to money. So by dropping rates, that means some people suddenly it became more affordable. We also had the government and the Financial Conduct Authority saying to lenders, look, take off some of the restrictions that you've got, make it a bit easier to borrow, maybe let people have more times the multiple earnings, and maybe don't put the stress tests as high as they were. So the stress tests were around 2.5% on top of the interest rate you got. So they were, for example, if you had a 4% rate, they would make sure that you could afford it at 6.5%. Now it's only about 0.5% on top. So meaning you get a 4% rate, they'll stress test you at 4.5%, meaning more people will pass those stress tests and get a mortgage. So that's really, really good. So what are we looking at with these mortgage approvals at the moment? So we've got some good data here, and mortgage approvals this month, or in May this was, were up 2,400 additional mortgage approvals, taking the total for May to 63,000 extra people in the market that have got approval. Now, this is important because in March and April, we had an influx of listings for sale, and we didn't have many buyers to follow that up because no one really wanted to move at that point, because it was probably a little frustrating knowing that you just missed that stamp duty increase. And so in March and April, the ONS data said that house prices actually dropped 2.8%, and the market really, really slowed down. Now I think people have really looked at what's going to happen in the market. They know that the stamp duty is now higher and they know where they stand, but they have seen some positivity with a few things, because maybe they got a pay rise in April, that would have helped, but they also looked at the rates and they dropped around that time as well. Plus, you've got these affordability improvements by the Bank of England and the Financial Conduct Authority. So that's going to bring some more people into the market. Now, this is the biggest increase in mortgage approvals since December. So nearly 7 months, 6 months at this point, wasn't it? So it's quite a considerable amount of time that we haven't had mortgage approvals increasing, even though we had that rush of properties sold in the beginning of the year. So this is positive. And the back end of last year, we did start seeing the rates dropping, and that's why more people applied. What's also interesting is that the data is saying that in May, viewings went up 30%. So 30% more viewings are happening on properties. Now, we don't know that offers have been put out. We don't know that offers have been accepted yet. It's going to take a while because there's going to be a real lag on this data, but it's going to take a while until we can see, does this turn into sold transactions? Now, it's good that the people that are viewing, there's more people with approved mortgages, because you don't really go through the process of, well, I don't. I only get a mortgage when I need it, because it's very frustrating giving all your bank statements, all the proof of address over and over and over. I'm constantly doing this because I've got 10 properties, so I'm constantly doing this stuff, and I wouldn't do it just for the sake of it, and I don't think many people would too. So I think these 63,000 people that are in the market, if they can find a property that matches up to what they've been approved as their mortgage, I'd be confident that a good percentage of those will follow through and buy a property, and that transaction will complete. Now, what that means is that it might give the market a little bit more stability. My personal opinion is that it's still a buyer's market, and if I went to buy any property, I'd offer at least 5 to 10% below what their asking price is, because the asking prices are close to record highs at the moment, and you don't want to be buying at the top of the market. And even with 30% more viewings in May as opposed to April, you still would have that seller sitting there, if they haven't sold it, thinking, well, there is lots of bad news at the moment. Interest rates are still fairly high. And so you can put cheeky offers in. And that's what I would do if I was looking to buy at the moment. So longer term, I think that this is positive that more people are going to get mortgages. I think that this will continue. And I think the Bank of England are going to cut rates myself in August. So I think that will get passed on to you as lower mortgage rates as well. That should bring some more people in. And then it's all down to what happens in the economy. If lots of people get made redundant and we go into recession, which is on a knife edge, then that could possibly slow down the market. But what I do think this does is it stops a house price crash. I think it could bring some momentum into the market. I don't think it's going to make prices surge up in any way, but I do think that it could stop them going down as fast as maybe what some people do expect. So what do you think about these mortgage approvals? I think all of this data is very important to keep an eye on. Let me know in the comments below. If you're looking for a mortgage, I'd be confident that you're going to see some lower rates over the next few days, as lenders are looking forward and saying, we think that the Bank of England will cut as well. And the rate that they borrow at, which is called the SONIA swap rate, that's been going down over the last few days, meaning they can get cheaper money and they can lend you a little bit of a discount. Do let me know in the comments what you think. Do smash like and subscribe, and also check out all the other content as well on the channel, including this video right here.